Welcome everyone to today's very special episode of Rebirthing Self. Today in a slightly different format to kick off the year. Rather than a conversation with John, he accepted the invitation to be my guest today and to discuss his soon-to-be published new book titled The Self-Aware. For those who don't know, in addition to his songwriting skills and music production, John Jesus has written a book.
This is the one.
It has such a powerful title. John, what inspired you to write this book?
I recognize that the world as it is today is a reflection of us. It is a reflection of us together. And what is missing, according to my understanding, is that we're missing that point of awareness, of becoming aware of how we're creating the problems as that are coming actually from within us. It is a reflection of us. So we're really living unaware of this. The systems that we've created, all the problems that exist in the world that are man-made, are coming from this point of a lack of awareness, a lack of our self-awareness, of who we really are, which is in essence, we're all the same, we're all equal, we're all one, we're all coming from the same point. And if you're not aware of this, then you'll start to project conflicts and create conflicts and fights, and you hold on to greed, you hold on to jealousy, you create all these things inside us, which we call human nature, but is actually not human nature, is human pre-programmed nature. And this is one of the points that I specifically go into a lot of detail, which is the fact that, yes, this point of human nature, the thoughts, the feelings and emotions that we call human nature, is just programs that are running inside of us. And the process to become the self-aware is that process of deconstructing, of deprogramming oneself from all these things inside us that are not who we really are. And as we start to remove them from within us, and we transcend them, which is what I call the step-by-step process of transcending the mind. So the mind encompasses the thoughts, the feelings, and emotions. And as you start to deprogram yourself, which means you stop identifying yourself as these thoughts, as these emotions, then you start to transcend the mind, and you can show there, rebirth the self, to become the self that is aware, and thus not creating conflicts and fights and all the bullshit that exists in this world. So,
wow.
Yeah.
What a beautiful world we could be living in, right?
We will be creating, because what's the point? If you are living in a way that is not who you are, if we're living in a way that is not who we really are, we destroy ourselves.
That's what we're doing, right?
That's what we're doing. We keep on fighting to destroy ourselves. And eventually, I don't know if it will be in this lifetime, in 10 lifetimes, if the human species will come to, annihilate itself, and then another somehow years, millennia down the line, another new species comes out, and the same cycles repeat until we get to the same point that we are today, so that we stop for a moment and realize, okay, we are not this.
Till here no further.
Yes, and then we'll end these cycles of conflict and violence and whatnot that is completely pointless.
And what I realized from the book is that once you start this process of looking within, it's a point of no return, because you can't go back to how you were in those automated behaviors, thoughts, feelings. And by changing who you are, it changes everything you do.
Exactly. That point of also that awareness that you come to as you begin to start to look within yourself is that it's undeniable your responsibility.
Yeah.
And the last chapter in this book is called Awareness. And I say in the beginning of that chapter that this process of awareness, and if you look at the word awareness, there's the word war. So there's an inner war that you go into, because you start to realize I am not these thoughts, these feelings and emotions, and you're going to have to push through to go beyond them, and that's going to be a conflict that you're going to be within yourself, because you're programmed as that, as those you have embraced
like
those
computer
programs.
says no.
Yes, and you're going to be you're going to have to push beyond that, and it really takes effort. It really takes dedication. It takes, but you cannot deny it. And if you are in a state of denial, you're just going to be creating and recreating more consequences for yourself and for the world. So it's like it's inevitable that we always end up facing ourselves, facing who we are not, so that we may transcend it, so that we become who we really are, as life, as equals, as one.
And the best version of ourselves.
Which is that. Our best version of ourselves is when we start to embody that equality and oneness that we have with life, with everyone, with everything.
But in this area of self-development, we hear oftentimes people saying, oh, you become the best version of yourselves, but it sounds so empty, right? Because it takes a process, right? And one thing that you say in this book is like, this book is for everybody, but not everybody is ready to read it.
Yes.
You want to expand a little bit on that?
It is for everybody because we're all the same. We're all equal. And
we deserve, right? To give that ourselves that opportunity to change.
Absolutely. And it's not for everybody at the same time, because there are steps for you to come into that awareness when you know that saying that when you're ready, the master will come up to, and meet you. So it's that kind of thing where some people just are not ready because they have already programmed themselves to such an extent that they have fully accepted everything that's inside them, all the thoughts, the feelings and emotions. They aren't even aware that they're living that out. And if you don't break beyond that first point and you start to realize that there is another way, then you're definitely not ready for this. But if you are already at the stage where you realize that you are responsible for who you are in each interaction, and that every thought that you have, it is because you accepted it as yourself, which means that you can also change that, that you can go beyond it, and that once you go beyond it, you don't disappear or you're not irrelevant. You're actually just removing the lies. And not everybody is ready for that. Like most people aren't ready for that yet, unfortunately. And what is going to make them ready for it, as I understand it, is consequences in people's life.
Yeah.
So
when you face the same point in
like
relationships.
in a relationship, for example, there is this couple, and there's just too much conflict, too much friction. Things are just not right, and they just keep insisting on it until it gets to a point where it's like, this is the breaking point. This is the point of no return. Something has to change in the relationship. Either they change together and individually, or the relationship ends. So that's a consequence. That's life saying, like, the way that you are relating to each other is not what is best. It's not a reflection of who you both are.
Yeah.
It's not your best selves. And therefore, the consequence is a reminder, hey, this is not who you are. Hey, this is not who you are. And you keep hitting your head, the conflict, the frustration, the irritation, the anger, the blame, all of that keeps like pounding on you until it's like, enough. And then you realize, okay, I'm actually not this. I actually don't have to live out this relationship. I actually don't have to be stuck in this relationship that is just ruining my health and my wealth and everything, because I'm just stuck in this prison. So that's life bringing you to a consequence where you realize you have to change. And for people that have already realized that there is a way to improve yourself, that you can keep on improving yourself, that you can keep on changing yourself, and it's in essence a process of self-perfection. Whether you get to a state of being perfect, that's a different question. But you can improve bit by bit, a little bit every day. Improve a relationship, improve the way you deal with yourself, improve your health, improve. So it's just that process. So Not everybody's ready
Yeah.
for it, but it's definitely for everybody.
And back to the relationship, it doesn't mean that the relationship ends there. And we do have a few episodes on this podcast where we talk about how to change the relationship from within. But the other thing we notice is you may have got stuck in that relationship, you break up, and then you go into a new relationship, and the same point, like you go into the same cycle, a time loop again. Which means, once again, you didn't correct yourself. You moved to another relationship, but who you were, it's still the same.
Yeah. So that happens because we are... It's like there's strings in the back, the puppet on the string, as if we are attracted to those that will test us in a way. And it's natural in a way to go into a relationship where the same point is kind of going to repeat. And that's, instead of seeing that as a problem, you can
an
actually...
opportunity.
Yes, you see it as, okay, I'm being presented with the same point, the same pattern. Who am I going to be now?
Yeah.
Am I going to change myself and change the relationship and make it something that not repeat the mistakes of the past? Or am I going to do the same and then fail in this opportunity that I had now to make something better, make something different of it?
Yes, and one of the chapters of the book is actually focused on the relationship.
A little bit, yes.
The relationship's not just with other people, but with the world.
Yes.
With the systems
Yes.
of the world.
So one of the chapters, yes, is called relationships. And when we say the word relationship, people immediately think of intimate relationships. But we have relationships with everything, with ourselves first, for example, with our bodies, and then with every part of the body, with our face, with our nose, with our lips, with our eyes, with our ears, with our chin, with our neck, with our body fat. So if you look at yourself and just your body, you have relationships with each and every single part of the body. And the way you look at that relationship that you have is, what kind of thoughts do I have about this part of the body? Are my thoughts positive or are they negative? Am I judging myself? So that's a relationship that you have with yourself. And for example, if you really judge some part of yourself, of your body, how is that going to limit your living and your expression? For example, say that you are, you carry a bit more weight and you have a bit more fat, and you judge yourself, and that petrifies you to even go to the beach and enjoy the beach and be there. And therefore you don't go to the beach just because you don't want to be putting your body out there for others to see because of what you think others are going to think, and who gives a fuck what other people think. That's the point. So that's a relationship that you have with your body, and the same with your own thoughts, what you think about yourself. And then the relationships that I have when I play the piano. Am I frustrated? Am I angry because I don't play as well as I could? There's a confession there. There's relationships we have with everything, with our environment, with our home. How do we take care of our home? What is our relationship in the environment of the work environment? What are the relationships with the colleagues, with the boss? Everything is a relationship. Parenting,
children,
with the kids. Everything is, in essence, a relationship.
Family.
What sort of relationship you have with each and every single part of the world. So that's some of the things that I deconstruct a little bit in that chapter of relationships, for you to realize that you can assess who you are according to each and every single relationship that you have with each and every single part of this existence. Even the weather, even the seasons. In the winter, I'm very moody and this and that because of this, because it rains. I don't like the rain. I judge the rain. Some people can love the rain. And if you see, you change the relationship. You can change your expression, and you can change your enjoyment of a certain expression that exists in this world.
Yes.
So yes, that's the chapter on relationships.
Amazing. And thinking about today's Sunday, so tomorrow is like Monday.
There's
blues.
a relationship. Monday.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Monday. When you hear the word Monday, how does that, just boils up inside you? Fuck, I have to go to this damn job that I hate. Again, that job that you hate. What relationship you have with it, and so on.
So this is like, I don't like the word weapon. I would think more as a wand. like
wand.
A wand.
A magic
A
wand.
magic wand.
Maybe magic.
That
For some,
It's
it
kind
might
of
be.
like, or it could be a key. This is like a key that you can use to open parts of yourself,
Yeah.
to deal with first with yourself, but the world around you, so that you don't feel so lonely. I think, and I love books, I love reading, and I think when we read this book, we feel that connection with what you have walked already and what we all go through, but it's now into the written word, and that we can carry around with us, and we don't feel so lonely in that journey, because it can be very isolating, right?
Yes,
When you
yes.
are facing yourself and on your own journal, like, which you do suggest people to have a notebook nearby to take notes. What should you say that people how can they use this book on a daily life?
Yeah, that's a perfect question. I designed the book to be, in essence, a guide of the process. And there's some things there that if you read it the first time, the whole book through, there's many things that might not make a lot of sense. Because one thing is the vocabulary that you have to be accustomed with. Because really your vocabulary determines your ability to understand things. And so you have to familiarize. It's not that I'm using any special words. No. The words that I'm using will have a kind of a more specific meaning. And as you become more accustomed to these meanings, you start to see things in a different way. Just like a doctor will look at a patient and immediately know this is the problem, because the doctor has knows specific vocabulary and knows the meanings of that vocabulary, that is able to tell this is the problem. It's the same in this process. You can only assess a certain problem if you have the vocabulary to even be able to describe the problem. So the book, it really is designed in a way that is going to take you through different steps of the process according to your level of awareness. So in the very beginning of the book, what I say is that here are 4 steps and here are 6 tools that you're going to be using, like in this process, to become the self-aware. Okay. And you can start to use it right away, so that you start to develop the skill of using the tools and start to familiarize with the steps that you can apply in each challenge that you, in essence, face in your life. And then maybe after 2 or 3 or 4 years of applying these tools, of writing, I really suggest that people write, because it's a fundamental aspect of the process to understand yourself and to improve yourself. Is you have to write. I mean, because you really slow down, you put things on the paper, you unburden yourself, you start to see how you've created yourself, how you were in this situation, how you were in that situation, and how you can be better next time. So that whole process of writing is extremely supportive. So 3 or 4 or 5 years down the line, there's things in the book that are going to click. That now I understand this. Now this makes more sense. So one of the things that I guide people to do in the book is to go back in time, meaning you go back into your past, not your past lives, but just your past, which is already plenty to deal with.
Like memories, traumas.
Exactly. And you want to write key events and key relationships that you had, and specific memories and thoughts that you had about it, emotions and feelings that you experienced at the time, the traumas, and you start to deal with that, because that reflects a lot of who you are today. And as you start to deal with those things in the past, you start to understand, I'm acting this way with this person now, or I feel this way in this situation in my life. And it is influenced because of these past events that I experienced. So if you bring into awareness now, as you are an adult, what you experienced as a child, when you were completely innocent and completely vulnerable to all the influences around you, that programmed you to think and feel and have a view of the world that was distorted, because those people were imperfect. So they created things inside you that do not reflect the best of you.
And you didn't have the tools to deal with it.
Not the tools, not the understanding either.
Yeah.
You thought that was normal. That's how, for example, racism exists, because it is programmed into children when they are very little. according to their environment, according to the comments, according to what the adults say and so
The
on.
perception,
They
yeah.
accept that. They see, oh, he's saying, they don't think it through, but it just, they
Gets
accept
imprinted
it.
almost.
It's imprinted on
Yeah.
them. Like, this person of this color is bad, or this person of this color, I cannot trust them. That's what is implied within, you know, those comments that people make and so
the
on.
judgments, yeah.
And you accept that, and then you grow up and you accept, you live with that thought, with that experience
Yeah.
inside you, and that's it.
And you don't question anymore.
Okay. And this point of racism is just one single thing that is very easy to understand, right? The point of going back in time is really to deconstruct those things so that you can bring into the present a different awareness, so that you start to correct yourself in real time in your present relationships with people, with job, with the world, with yourself. So I guide a lot of the beginning of you applying this process that is described in the book is going to be spent on dealing with these things in the past. And I really guide, like, okay, from 0 to 5 years, what thoughts, emotions, experiences, and so on you experienced there. And then from 5 to 10. And then think of first relationship. Think of the first time you were fired. Think of the first time, like the first times that you experienced certain things. Even first times you did drugs, or the first times you did alcohol. How did those first times influence your relationship with those substances in the present now? Because if you are trying to stop, for example, smoking weed or alcohol or any other drug, any addiction, you have to go back into those first memories and extract from it some level of awareness that is going to help you deprogram this thing that you believe you cannot live without that substance or that experience. Or what are you trying to run away from? Or what are you trying to want to experience again? Maybe with the first times you drank alcohol, it was so much fun. But then the fun is gone because you just get accustomed to it, and you just keep on drinking, thinking and expecting and wanting to have that fun again and to have that positive experience again. But it just lasts so for such a short amount of time, and then you're again crashing into the polarity, the negative of
and
the
looking
addiction.
more to why do you need that? What is in your life not being fun enough, or what? And that's a limitation, because then you think that who you are is dependent on anything around you or any substance or whatever. So it's even deeper, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the source.
Exactly.
And here in your channel, you have many videos for those who are watching that talks about your journey, things that you faced. But how, in a nutshell, what made you write this book, and where did it come from? Why did you feel the need to put onto paper and to share this process with other people based on your experience in your life so far?
First of all, I had one of the most unique experiences that anyone can have. Nothing spiritual or nothing out there. But the point is that what I have realized from these experiences that I've had, nothing with drugs either, this is nothing of the sort. And what I realized from these experiences, and then how I applied myself and how I was able to change certain aspects of myself in my life, that I found them so valuable. And the fact that I don't see this explained in any other book, a lot of the tools and the insights and the principles and the teachings here, yes, you can find them here and there in different types of books, but there is nothing like put together as it is here, with the addition of the practical application of these tools and the principles and the steps. I don't know of any book that has such detailed guidance and detailed a path that you can walk. Like, if you do this, if you apply this, you're going to get a specific result. And so my like, it was even an urge, like a mission, like I have to do this, because if I died before having put these things that I understand and that I know of on the paper, I know I would have regretted it. So there's the point of, I don't want to regret. In terms of why I decided to write this book, is I had to I know I had to because there is nothing else like this out there. And it is valuable, and I want to create a better world. I've always wanted that, and I found in this process a way to do that. And there isn't anything that is put together like this, so this needed to be done. That was my perspective from it. That's all. This needed to be done. I cannot just take all of this that I understand to the grave with me when I know it can be here in the physical form for many years to come and able to help people.
So, lastly, when and where can we get our hands on your book?
You will be able to get this physical book from Amazon. So wherever there's Amazon, you will be able to get this book on the 3rd of February of this year.
And until then, actually go into the link in the description and join the newsletter, so you'll get a promo code and more information as to when the book is out.
Yes.
Very soon.
Yes, you'll be reminded. And there's going to be a little discount in the first week of the book being out. So, get the extra change in your pocket for something else. And the book. That's it.
And there's also then the ebook version.
And the ebook version as well will be available but I mean, it's not the same to have a physical book where you carry and you can take notes. There's space here that you have to write as well. So, yeah, the physical, I think it's much better than the ebook. But there's that option.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.